What's going on, guys? It's Steven and Brett from the BS Show. We're at a different location right now. We're at our buddy's house. We just finished a fight. It was a great night of fights. We just finished watching Brian Ortega versus Max Holloway. And holy moly, that was one hell of a fight.
Hell of a fight, for sure.
But where should we start out on this card as we break this down?
Oh, man. I don't know.
Let's start with the co and main event.
Okay.
Let's just do that because that's probably what most people are interested in. So we'll do Joanna Jędrzejczyk versus Valentina Shevchenko, which was actually more of an eventful fight than I actually thought. I agree. I thought Shevchenko was going to run right through Joanna Jędrzejczyk.
Yeah. Sorry for our enunciation of the fighters.
We just got done watching the fight, so we've had a lot of soda.
Yes.
And we have really...
Shout out to Pepsi.
We have a caffeine rush like crazy right now.
Total caffeine rush. You know, Steven and I, we did a fight breakdown last week, and then we couldn't upload the video. It was too many minutes, but we both thought that Valentina Shevchenko was going to run away with this fight. Not only was Joanna coming off back-to-back losses, she was moving up in her weight class. You know, we just thought...
She's lost to Shevchenko 3 other times in Muay Thai, so...
We thought all the cards were stacked against her. At least I did. I'm sure you felt the same. And honestly, the fight started, and it went just like we thought.
Exactly like we thought.
Valentina Shevchenko was really running through the first couple rounds. She seemed too big, too powerful, too quick. You know, Joanna would throw punches and kicks, and she'd get out of the way. And then it's almost like... After round 3, the tide kind of turned. Yeah. It's almost like it took Joanna a while. It seems like
at first Joanna's aggressiveness was working against her. She was walking into punches, and Valerie Shevchenko was just landing more sneaky stuff. She was just very defensive, counter-punching, and just like landing all these counter-punching, spinning back kicks. You know what I mean? Kicking her halfway across the cage.
She looked much sharper.
Yeah, so the first 2 rounds we definitely had going to Shevchenko, hands down, and then the third round happens, and then the tides kind of change, and then Joanna Jędrzejczyk started looking a lot sharper. Her aggressiveness, which she carried through the whole fight, just started working more because it seemed like Shevchenko kind of slowed down.
Yeah, and that's probably what it was. And I even told Steven, 3rd or 4th round, I said...
He called it before it happened, actually.
I said, I feel like Joanna's going to have to win this fight if she wins by sheer volume. And that's exactly what ended up happening is, you know, Joanna kept her volume. She didn't ever quit. She didn't ever slow down. And Shevchenko got tired, and that might be because she's the bigger fighter, you know.
Heavier
fighter.
She's been fighting heavier girls where it's been more of like a, I don't want to say a brawl, but it's not a quick, you know what I mean? Like the smaller girls, the strawweight division, Joanna Jędrzejczyk is a very quick volume fighter. And Shevchenko hasn't been fighting that lately. She's been fighting hardcore strikers, hardcore ground game people, but it's just been a normal pace to fight.
Yeah.
It's just been a chess match, but
Joanna,
yeah, exactly. Joanna was just like a bee, just like buzzing, you know, like annoying. It
was like you could see that the volume of Joanna really had an impact on Valentina because Valentina was more used to the one-punch power shots, but Joanna was more, like you said, of a bee, constantly stinging and moving, and she was having trouble hitting her. Very good fight. I mean, I thought Valentina was going to run through her, and she didn't.
So, Valentina got the first 2. Then, Joanna probably got the next 2, which that's what we thought. We don't know, really, how the judges scored it. But then we left it up to the last round, and it looked like Valentina got it back. She knew what she had to do.
I agree.
She got the bigger punches. I don't remember if she got a takedown, but she got 5 takedowns in the whole fight, which might have been the deciding factor overall.
She had 5 and Joanna had
0. So, yeah.
I mean, if you're looking at the scorecards and if you're looking at it surely on paper, you know, Valentina clearly won the fight. But I felt like when we were watching it, it wasn't that clear. Yeah. Like, Joanna was never out of it.
And we went in there thinking Valentina was going to run right through her. I don't know why. I always call Shevchenko Valerie. I know that's not her name. It just comes out for some reason. But, yeah. Cool. So the main event. Wow.
Great
fight. What a
Great fight. You know, Brian Ortega has a lot more respect for me in my book after that fight.
He proved his stand-up is, like, legit.
He did. And, you know, and I would be willing to bet that if it was anybody except Max Holloway tonight, Ortega might have landed a few big shots and it might have ended it.
I consider Max Holloway probably one of the best stand-up strikers in MMA.
Well,
one of the best boxers.
Steven and I, on multiple occasions, when we're talking about stand-up fighters, we have both said Max Holloway is probably top 5 stand-up in the UFC, hands down. And I think tonight really showed that. He might not have the one-punch power of a lot of people, but with sheer volume and accuracy, he overwhelms people. And that's what ended up happening tonight.
He keeps his fist in your face. Like, there's times where you think, like one punch should land, but you just see, bah, bah, bah. Like, he keeps it there, you know what I mean? And it's very interesting. It sucks because it looks like the guy he's fighting is just getting, sort of like Joanna, it looks like he's just getting swarmed down, tagged every angle. The guy will try to duck a punch and he'll still get hit in the face.
And that's what was happening to Ortega was defending the first and second punch, and then he would come over the top with the third, fourth, and fifth punch, which I don't think he really thought was going to be there. And, if anything that stands out to me in this fight is that Max Holloway is on a whole nother level. I mean, you have a guy in Brian Ortega who was running through people, who was landing those big shots like he did against Frankie Edgar. And he was supposed to be the guy that could beat him. He was his kryptonite. He was great on the ground. Max Holloway stuffed every single takedown. Brian Ortega got him in the clinch, got him against the cage. Max Holloway had the insight to know, I'm getting away from this guy. And then when he would get away from the clinch, he would land shots on the way out. So Max Holloway's game plan was just, on par tonight. So, I think if there's any takeaway from this fight is Max Holloway is a legitimate stud, and it's going to take a true killer to really beat him.
Brian Ortega from here, he has everything to be a champion. He just needs to have that takedown because his stand-up's enough to hang in the UFC.
I agree.
I mean, we were worried for Max Holloway. We're like, he can't get too comfortable because one of those punches are going to land.
I agree.
And I think there was a point where Brian Ortega did land some stunning punches. What was it, second or
I think
third
the second
round?
It took Brian Ortega a little bit to get used to Holloway's stand-up, but you could really see in the fight how Ortega was getting his distance, and he landed a couple shots. His confidence started to grow, but Max Holloway switched up his game plan, and he really, as soon as he felt like Ortega was getting the momentum, he'd switch it up. I mean, Max Holloway is not only a great fighter, he's sharp up in his head, and that's what I think separates him.
And he's exhausting to fight because no matter what round it is, you're going to have hands in your face, someone coming forward at you, and that wears on you after a while. He's very active. And sharp. What I mean? It's not like he's just hitting your forearms or your shoulders. He's landing on your chin. They may not be hard, kind of like the Diaz brothers, but when you have a hand in your face always, that throws off your rhythm. That throws off your power punches, if you have any. It throws off your whole game plan, your takedowns.
Absolutely. And you could tell that Ortega, he got tired. I mean, Ortega simply got tired. From having your hands up here all the time.
And he still didn't hit the canvas.
No, and that's what I was going to say is even though Ortega lost, he won the hearts and minds of a lot of people because this guy was a killer. He didn't quit. In the fourth round, which I want to add, Steven and I picked a fourth round TKO. He got a doctor stoppage, which was right. I think that was the right move.
We wanted them to stop it.
What was it? His left eye was swollen shut. The guy couldn't see. And we even said halfway through the fourth round, the ref could have stopped it because he was just taking shot after shot. And the guy still fought.
Yeah.
He was still trying to clinch him. He was still trying to take him down.
He couldn't take him down.
He was exhausted.
Yeah, when he was on his feet, he couldn't even hold his hands up to block his own face. Yet, taking jabs to the face over and over, he would not drop. And that just shows the pure heart and perseverance of Brian Ortega. And he will be back, I'm sure.
He'll be back.
From that, he'll learn where he lacks in striking and what he could do different. And, we'll see what he could do from there. But,
I think moving forward, Max Holloway's have two choices. Destroy every featherweight record and stay there and just... Because if Max Holloway decides to stay at the featherweight division, he's going to run it for a long time. I mean, you have Max Holloway up here. Everyone else is about right here. Max Holloway isn't the type of guy that goes, oh, you're a black belt, I'll fight you at your own game. He's going to stick at what he does, and we've seen that tonight. Every time Ortega clinched or went for the takedown, he just got out of there, which was smart, very smart. So, but if Max Holloway decides to move on and go to 55 pounds like he said, Ortega might run that division for a long time.
Man, I want to see Ortega move up and fight Khabib.
Holloway or Ortega?
I want to see Ortega. That's the fight I wanted to see. Ortega versus Khabib. but they're probably gonna make a Max Holloway versus Khabib.
Yeah.
There's an interview with Dana White, and they said if he wins, that's probably gonna be Khabib's next fight. And they're like, "What about everybody else in the division?" And he'll like, "We'll make it work."
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean you'll make it work? There's like a whole line of people
Yeah.
who want to fight Khabib right now. You have Conor, which I don't think he deserves it. You have I can't think right now. You got Ferguson, Tony Ferguson. There
Yeah.
we go.
I think if anything, it should be Tony Ferguson. Now,
I do too. I
now once
completely
Khabib
agree.
and Tony Ferguson fight, the winner of that, you could let Max Holloway fight one of them. You know, Max Holloway's coming off this big time win against Ortega, who's a stud at jiu-jitsu. Everybody knows that. No one will deny that. You know, you let those two duke it out. Brian Ortega, this is your welcoming party to the 155-pound division. You know, you wrecked everybody at 145. Come on up. Or get a rematch of Conor McGregor, Brian Ortega. Or, I'm sorry, Max Holloway. Because the only person that's beat Max Holloway within the last 5 years is Conor McGregor. Max Holloway was, what, 20 years old?
That would be a good welcoming fight to that division. Max Holloway moves up, fights Conor McGregor. That's going to be huge.
Absolutely.
Because now Max Holloway's a star.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? When they first fought, they were
one-
kids.
yeah, no
they were
one knew
young. They were coming up in the sport. So, man, I kind of want to see that fight now.
So we got Khabib, Tony, Conor, Max Holloway, the two winners for a title shot.
I like it.
You heard it here first on the BS show. UFC 231 was a smash hit, in my opinion. We had a really good time. You got anything else?
Yeah, I just want to say, guys, we've been working hard on this channel. We're not, we've been working consistently at building this channel. We're only at, 91 subscribers now.
Yeah.
But we're really, like, on YouTube, people subscribe to channels who have a lot of subs. It's just, like, the conformative, you know, mentality of people. That's just truth. I do it when I'm on YouTube. So I'm asking anyone out there who's just wanting to be sparing with a subscription, please give us a sub, because we really are putting our effort into this, and we want to build this channel and like build a base of people to talk to, because we really do enjoy these fights. And
I agree.
Yeah, so if you want to subscribe or you want to do us a favor, please sub, and yeah, I'll really appreciate it. Seriously, not just saying leave a sub and a like. You know, I'm seriously saying we'll really appreciate it, so we could build our subscription base and more people will be more likely to sub to us.
I agree.
But if we suck, you know, leave a dislike and say you guys are a bunch of cocksuckers who don't belong to be on YouTube, and, you know, get lost.
That's all we're going to get.
Yeah. All right. Anyways, guys, let us know what you think about the spike card in the comments below, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.